Welcome, everyone. We are live. Yes, we are live indeed. We are live. I don't know if my YouTube is on, but we'll figure something out. Definitely figure something out. But the mountain and the waterfall. That's what we're talking about today. What was I doing today? No, it was yesterday. And we were talking about persistence. Which one is more powerful? The waterfall or the mountain? For all intents and purposes, if you look at it, we would say the mountain is powerful, right? We would say that. But I know that when we go driving through the mountains, the one thing that we look at and we are in awe of is the waterfall coming down the mountain. The waterfall does something very, very interesting. That waterfall carves its own pathway. It carves a pathway down the mountainside. That's what it does. It carves a pathway down the mountainside. Now, that groove didn't happen overnight. That groove appeared with time. I want you to think about which one you would want to be. The mountain or the waterfall. Why is that? Bruce Lee did say to be like water. Water takes the shape of whatever you put it in. Put it in a cup, it's shaped like the cup. You run it through the hose, it comes out, it's shaped like the hose. Water takes the shape. Water's malleable. Put it in an ice cube tray, well, it does two things. It takes on the shape and it changes its form. But you leave that ice tray out on the counter, you will have water again in the form. It takes on the shape. It takes on the shape, right, of the ice cube tray. Why am I telling you this? Next time you go out or, you go hiking or you watch anything, find the waterfall. If you can see one, just look, just watch it and see what happens. You sit there and you're mesmerized, not just by what the water is doing, but the sound of the water. That waterfall is so soothing to listen to. It's not quiet. It's loud. It rushes, but it is so soothing to listen to. It really is. But what gets me is that the waterfall shapes its own pathway. It shapes its own pathway. Water shapes its own pathway. It doesn't wait for help. It builds and it builds and it builds until it spills over. And once it spills over, it starts to build its own pathway. You know, a mountain is nothing when it comes to water. So long as that water remains, it will bring that mountain down if it needs to. Not because it's mean or cruel, but through sheer persistence. All the water does is what it does. It doesn't say, I should be more aggressive. I should be more focused. No, it just simply follows its nature, which is to seek the depth. It goes from high to low because that's also what adds to its power. Gravity pulls water down, thereby giving it weight. And it is also not just the water, but the weight of the water that erodes the side of the mountain so that a waterfall is formed. So how do you apply that image to your everyday life? First, you must know your nature. Obviously, you must know your nature. What is the nature of man? The nature of man is to be habitual. And once habitual, it is on autopilot that it runs. That's the nature, right? It's habitual. It runs on autopilot. And because it is habitual and it runs on autopilot, it is naturally persistent. The nature of man is persistence. How is it persistent? It is persistent because it is habitual. It does the same thing the same way every time. And because it is habitual, it now becomes automatic, autopilot for that habit to just run like water down the side of the mountain. Naturally, it now is persistent. So persistence is not something that one learns to be, you know. Persistence is what we are. Naturally, we are persistent. That's why we say things like, oh my God, I've been doing this for years. The nature of man is to be persistent. Period. The nature of man is to be persistent. We cannot help ourselves. It is part of the design, part of our nature. So in order to be like water, you must know your nature so that you just do it. And in the doing of who and what you are, something happens as a result. If you go to the wave pool, the machine makes the water form waves. It pulls it back and it pushes, pull and push, pull and push, so that you get that sensation of the wave, like you're at the beach. Now, the nature of water. If you look at, you could say, when water overflows its banks, all it does is build. The intensity of that water builds. So it just keeps filling up and filling up until it spills over. And once it spills over, well, there's your flood. So today, what are we learning? To know our nature. Because when you know your nature, you know the outcome. You boil water, it becomes vapor. You cool that vapor, it goes back to water. Did it ever stop being water? No. It just responds to the stimulus. But it always goes back to what it is. Its nature is just water. That's it. You cannot escape your nature. But you can hone your nature. You want that nice cool drink on a hot day? Get yourself some ice cubes. Look at the water, at your situation, and determine how to influence the water, how to influence the nature of water to get you to be satisfied. So you look at your life and you look at your nature. How do you mold and shape yourself? To maximize your nature. This is what it is about. But you see, when you don't understand your own nature, how can you optimize it if you don't understand it? Then you're floundering around like a fish out of water, talking about, oh my God, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Your nature is to be habitual, to do something the same way every time. That is the nature of man. And once man does that thing, man is persistent naturally. So if you look at yourself and realize, wait, I'm a creature of habit. It is my nature to be habitual. What habit do I want to form? What habit do I want to form? You form the habit. You do the same thing the same way every time. And once that habit is formed, it becomes autopilot. And it becomes autopilot, you become persistent, thereby changing your life. That's what happens. So that waterfall coming down the face of the mountain, it's not just beautiful. What makes it more beautiful is the comprehension. Because now you can look at it and say, oh, shoot, I see myself. This is what we do. Does water know? It's nature. Look at it and then you'll figure that part out. Everything is aware of itself. Water is aware of itself. That's why it has spilled its banks, because it is full. And thereby it runs over the bank. Everything is aware of itself. My hops bush in the yard is so aware of itself that it has wrapped itself around my lawn furniture. Yeah, it's aware of itself. It knows where it is in space and time. Do you? Do you know where you are in space and time? Are you aware? Yes, you are. You are always aware. You're aware. And you know you're aware If you watch your actions, you become more aware as you watch your actions. So you are the mountain, and you are also the waterfall. I don't know how many of you have been singing it, but we gonna sing it. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to, right? You know that jam, don't we? But that waterfall, we can learn a lot from it. And how do you know it's habitual? Well, so long as there's ice on that mountain and it thaws, that water's gonna run down the side of the mountain. Period. It's just gonna run down the side of the mountain. So today, my beautiful friends, I shan't keep you, but ponder it. A seed knows its nature. You give it water, give it soil, and then it does what? Sprouts. But you see, we take these things for granted and we think, oh, it's just a seed. No, but it knows itself. Seeds sprout. It is aware. What are you going to do? You're going to learn your nature. Your nature is to be habitual. Find a habit that you would enjoy, meaning a thing that you do. Because so long as you start doing it for any amount of time, I think it's 3 or 4 times if you do it, your body says, oh, so we're doing this, all right? Let's make it easy for you. And so your body streamlines you in such a way that this thing that you have done now becomes the thing that you will do. So a habit is neither friend nor foe, but it is your nature. And if you use the habit in the right way, what do I mean by right way? In the direction that you want to go in, because you're the one building the habit. So when you build the habit, what happens? You start to do it. And in your doing, you are living, you are being, you're having experiences that go along with that habit. That's what you're doing. And it is either, think about that habit that you're doing. Remember the waterfall. You'll carve your way into society with that habit that you do. Hmm. So today, what will you do? Because the situation that you're dealing with is mountainous, is it not? It seems like if it is so massive. It's so massive. But your nature, if you hone it correctly. Now, here's the thing. Whether you hone it or don't hone it, your nature will always win. But to be deliberate with your nature is to optimize your existence. Many people speculate about Earth and its purpose and its function. Why are we here? We can't just be here to suffer. See, we argue about the wrong things. We put our attention in the wrong areas. All of that stuff will come out because it always does. Right? Life is a habit, you know. Oh, we live it every day. Do we not? Whether we are here or somewhere else, we live it every day. So if living is a habit, now you get to decide how you want to live by optimizing yourself. When Neville Goddard says there's none to change but the self, he wasn't just saying it because he was bored. If you want to optimize your existence, your life, then you must hone and shape and craft your nature. You are always, and I are always going to do the same thing the same way every time. This is what makes us predictable. It is just the outcome of a habit. It is predictable. So what do you predictably do? Do you predictably complain? Because that is how you have trained yourself? I keep telling you, as within, so without. The body is always going to respond because that is its job. That is its function. Just like water seeks the depth, it goes from high to low. It would have to because we are subject to gravity, the vibration. Gravity is a vibration. It is the principle of vibration in action. So we're subject to it, but we've learned to circumvent it for a time. How? Jet fuel, rocket fuel. We've learned to circumvent gravity for a while because once the jet fuel is gone, you better be landing. Hello? Or you will seek the depth. So in order for us to have learned to circumvent gravity, we needed to understand the nature of gravity. So if you pay attention, you will recognize we always understand the nature of something. The nature of cucumbers is to trellis, is to run and hang, because that's what it does. It will cling to something, and that's why you call it a vine, a runner. Yeah? It's a runner. That's its nature. So what do you do to optimize it? You trellis it. You put it up onto something so it can do what it is going to do, which is to run. And then the fruit, which is the cucumber, will hang. And you can just pick it nice and easy. So you see, you must know your nature. Your nature is to be habitual. Do the same thing the same way every time. And because you do the same thing the same way every time, you will always have the same predictable outcome. It will not be a mystery because there aren't any. And there won't be a surprise because there aren't any. So what is it that you are training yourself to do the same way every time? That's a question you have to answer. If we train ourselves to say, you know what, I can't do this, what is the outcome? We won't be able to do it because the habit dictates the outcome. So if you habitually say, I cannot, why would you be surprised when you do not? A lot of you do not believe me But that's neither here nor there. When I tell you that things show up in the body as a result of a habit. Things show up in the body as a result of your habit. People can smoke for years. What do you think their lungs are going to be like? Congested. It won't be a surprise. You overeat, what is the outcome? Right? The habit is what dictates your outcome. So if the habit will dictate your outcome, what behaviors are you practicing? You see, that water does not run down the side of the mountain today and stop, or tomorrow and the day after and the whole week and stop. It runs all the time. So it tells you, because you're always persistent. Yes, you are. You are always persistent. You're always doing the same thing the same way every time. What is that? Persistence. So when it comes time to change, so that you can stop doing one thing and start doing another, why do we say, I can't do this? It takes too long. I'm not good enough. You see, what we get all emotional about it. Emotions are neither friend nor foe, but they are indicators of the habit. The emotion will follow the habit. Your emotion will follow your habit. This is why a habit behaves like it is the law, you know. It's not the law. It's subject to law. Because the habit does not just appear out of nowhere. A habit is a selected action that is done the same way every time. So how do you apply that to your life? By first recognizing the present habit that you do not want to do any more. What is it? See, and sometimes we can't even be honest with ourselves. We get emotional about it. Don't remove the emotion from the situation. Comprehend it. See what it's telling you. It's telling you, every time you do this thing, you get this feeling. Every time you do this thing, you get this feeling. And because you do this thing and you get this feeling, automatically you do it, thereby you stop seeing it. It's autopilot now. But if you recognize something, autopilot is not hidden from you. So to change your life, we keep saying, but I have this condition. That's what we say. Angela, I got ADHD. Angela, I got OCD. It is just something that you have done the same way every time. And because you have done it the same way every time, it is autopilot and you persist in that behavior. So obviously, the way to change is to identify the present habit you no longer want to do. Have you found it yet? Did you see what it is? that makes you go, oh my God, why do I keep doing this all the time? Why does this always happen to me? That's how you know you found that habit. So now that you've found the habit, are you going to get mad? Why in the hell would you get mad? Why? Why would you get upset? You've just found the thing that has been causing you great distress, and you're going to get mad? Chad, this is the time to throw confetti. Throw the confetti and go, ooh, I found it. Now, what do I want to replace it with? Take your time with that step. What do you want to replace it with? Because remember, whatever you replace it with is what you will persistently do. So you got to make sure that what you are choosing to be persistent in is what you will be pleased with. Anxiety, depression, all the same thing. Panic, all the same thing. Nothing is happening to you on the outside. But you see, the habit of thinking in a pattern, in a fear-filled pattern, brings about panic, brings about the anxiety, and it also brings about the depression. Why can't I change? There comes, when you look at the action that is being done the same way every time, you know the outcome of that action. And depending on the intensity of that action, you could become reclusive and not leave your house just because in your mind's eye you have practiced being afraid. If you practice being afraid, what is the outcome? Things to be persistently afraid of. So how does one practice courage? So if fear makes you freeze, courage moves you. So move, do something. If you say, I can't talk to people, I wouldn't even know what to say. Hi, my name is, Eminem taught you what to say. Hi, my name is, ... And just answer the questions as they are asked of you. That is how you talk to people. You just walk up there. And everybody's just milling about anyway. Say, hi. Hi what? Hi, my name is. You introduce yourself. This is how you talk to people. My name is ... Someone would say, well, how are you? You say, oh, I am well, or I'm fine, or I'm okay. Things could be better. You just answer the question, and then a conversation ensues. Thereby now, if you're practicing the courage, what happens to fear? It dissipates, and you didn't have to force it away. You didn't have to do anything to push against it. You just simply turned your attention towards courage. So if you turn your attention towards being courageous, then your actions are going to match. And at first, it will feel kind of funny. At first, it will feel scary because you're doing something you've never done before. But here is what you must grasp. When you know that you are doing something that you've never done before, so long as you make that thing a habit by doing it the same way every time, what did you do? You learned and you practiced something new, thereby becoming persistent at it. That's it. So step one, Identify the present habit. You do not judge the habit, oh dear God. Don't be looking in the mirror talking about loser. Look at you. Everybody else is ahead of you. And, oh, you still here. You still this. You still single. Look at you. You 50. Oh, who's going to want you now? Oh, God. That is not how you talk to yourself. You remind yourself that, oh, I know what a habit is. And a habit will always make me persistent, which means I'll always be successful. So what habit do I want to do? Because that's step two. What habit do I want to do? Ooh, you know what? I can totally see myself getting up and doing this thing every day. Oh, yes, I can. Well, I'm going to practice. Because no time like the present. I want to be doing it for a long time, so let me practice. So I just get real good at it. Because I know what I practice, I'll become. And that is my nature, to be habitual and to be persistent. So I'm going to persist in this. See, there's a level of excitement that comes from that now. Why would a level of excitement come from that? Because you don't have to remain as you are. You don't. So practice. What are you going to practice? See, now when we do that, right? The outcome, watch it, watch it. The habit, same thing, same way every time. Habit makes you persistent and you're predictable, right? Yeah, you're predictable. You are. What do you think your manifested life will be? The habit. So you want to manifest something? You are always manifesting something because of the habit that you have. It must always show itself in your world. That is what to manifest means, to show itself. To go from invisible, which is in the mind's eye, to being visible. You never have to figure out what to do. The habit will tell you what to do. You see, we are always being told what to do by our habits. If you pay attention, you'll see it. You're always being told what to do because of your habit. If your habit is to walk around in a state of insecurity, right? You will do actions that show your insecurity. Where you going? How long you gonna be? Who you going with? Oh, that's insecurity. You walk around with the attitude of, oh, I really need to be liked, man. Oh, I gotta fit in. I've been on the outside so long. I just really want them to like me. So what will you end up doing? Things that you think you want to do because you're driven by the habit of must be liked. So it manifests in your life. How? As a people pleaser. Nobody wants me. I'm not pretty. I'm not handsome. I'm going to be single forever. What does that habit cause you to do? It causes you to meet people that will leave your life because you're walking with the habit that says nobody wants me. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty. I'm not handsome. There's no good women in the world. There's no good men in the world. So how are you going to meet them if your attitude is what it is? Your habitual attitude. So how do you change that? How do you change it? Well, you look at the experience. People leave. So you want them to do what? Stay. You can't force anybody to stay. But what you do is you create within yourself a space that allows people to stay. You're the one who has to change. Oh, don't step on bunions today, Angela. Too late. There's none to change but the self. You dig a trench to divert the water will change its direction because it needs to follow its habit, which is to flow without obstruction. And so long as a trench is there, that water is going to follow the trench. Water is very predictable. So, whatever that inner attitude is that you have been doing habitually, how do you change it? Identify it. You got to see it for what it is first. If people are always leaving your life, it's not because you're undesirable, it's because you are afraid of being alone. That which you fear comes upon you. That is the principle of correspondence, as within, so without. So you create within yourself the habit of enjoyment, because that's what companionship does. It's enjoyable. What does it look like in real time? In real time, it looks like, oh, I'm going to go out and just have a good time. I'd like some ice cream today. Let me just go and have some. I know I'm not going to be happy 100% of the time, but what am I anchored to? I'm anchored to the fact that, you know what? If I build this habit, I'm going to do it. So what I'm doing is building the habit of being outgoing, of going outside, of mingling. That's all I'm doing. So that if I do this thing, if I am I excited and I go out and I do these things, naturally, if I go out, I'm going to meet people. And naturally, if I'm, a little bit relaxed, I'll have an easy conversation. Yeah, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to do it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. You just go and you do. Because your nature is to make the habit. And the habit will dictate your actions. You don't have to figure out what your actions will be. Just make the habit. This is why when Neville Goddard says to you that creation is done, this is what he's talking about. When he says to you that your inner conversation is what molds and shapes your experiences, this is what he's talking about. The habit that you do all the time forms your personality as a result. But we think there's something magical about it. The thing is that we don't know that that's the nature of man. And so uh, that's why we struggle, because we don't know. I know some of you don't like scripture, but I'm not sharing scripture with you because I want to convert you to anything, because scripture is a story. And any story worth its salt will teach you how to apply it. Look at the story of Hansel and Gretel. What do you learn from that story? How can you apply that story to your life? Don't take candy from strangers. Don't leave your house when you're told not to by your parents. Obey your parents. They know what's best. And it also teaches you what we say in Barbados is everything your eyes see, your mouth shouldn't want. Let me say that to you in English. So everything your eyes see, your mouth shouldn't want. They saw the candy. They were tempted by the candy. See? You can learn a lot from a story. Why judge the story? Learn from the story so you can apply it. See, the Bible has that story about the widow in there, and she went to the judge every day. Judge, you better tell these people to back off because they're really annoying me. They're driving me nuts, Judge. After the fifth or sixth time, the judge said, "Look, I don't even fear man. I don't even fear God, but this woman, oh, she gonna wear me out." Why? Because persistently she went to him and just nagged him until such time he had to give in. She carved her freedom into the world. She carved her freedom, meaning she was not tormented by enemies anymore. She carved it out by being what? By habitually going to the judge and saying, "Do something, do something, do something." And she didn't listen, she didn't even have to holler. Oh, listen, he knew her footsteps. He didn't even have to look out the window. He knew her footsteps. How would he know her footsteps? Because she was there every day. He knew the cadence of her walk. Oh, yeah, he did. He said, "Oh, Lord, this woman again." Oh. That story is not talking about an annoying woman. The story is talking about persistence and the outcome of persistence. If you do something habitually, the outcome is the fulfillment of it. So if you keep walking around talking about "you're no good, I'll never be, I'm not good enough, nobody likes me," what do you think the outcome of that will be? Oh, wait, surprise me. It won't be a surprise. You'll always be saying it because you're always saying it because that is your habit that you've created. And so you have to live by your habits. So when you hear "don't start nothing, won't be nothing," that's what it means. So today, my beautiful friends, go forth in this world and know your nature. Why do you think you're told, "Man, know thyself"? But instead of knowing ourselves, in order for you to know anything, quote unquote, outside of yourself, you must know yourself first. Because when you know yourself first, you'll understand why that thing that you see on the outside is there. Uh, so today, what are you habitually doing? The same way every time. Well, then, don't be surprised when the outcome is what it is. And again, I'm not talking to you from the mountain. Mm-mm. I'm talking to you from right next door, darling. Because I have to get up and do the same thing every day with you, with myself. Whenever I catch myself wanting to be insecure about anything, I'm like, whoa, whoa, wait a minute. Mm-mm. I don't want that in my life. That habit of insecurity is not going to rule me. Oh, hell no. So how then do I foster security? How do I build a habit of security? Security is a measure of safety. You feel those things. And you know that as long as you feel secure, the same way every time, then you will start to live a life of security. How? Well, to be secure means you're not saying, "How am I going to make the rent this month?" That's insecure. It brings worry. Insecurity brings worry. Security erases worry. Naturally. You don't have to force it. How do you be secure? By forming the habit of security. The habit of security looks like whenever the old habit emerges and says, "You don't have nothing. Look at the job market. You think you're going to land a job in this economy? Girl, you crazy. That's from a place of fear. But a place of security says, I can see what people are looking for. I can see what I'm good at. Let me build something. Let me build something. Oh, but you don't have the skills to build that. What do you know about business? Oh, and you say, what do I know about business? Nothing yet. That's my favorite line from The Matrix. He says, can you fly this thing? She says, not yet. And she learned. How did she learn? She downloaded. That's how she learned. So you pull up anything for business. How do I become a business owner? The first thing they're going to tell you is you need a business plan to lay out so you can get it from out of your mind onto paper so you can see it. Obviously, that's the next step. And when you start doing that, you say, okay, what about funding? Where am I going to get this money from? Yeah, I don't know nobody with no money. So the next question you ask is, where can I access funding? Well, I'm a woman or I'm a whatever, because there's certain programs that cater to different people. And that's how you do it. Step one, step two, step three, all because you are no longer looking at, I can't do that. How do you expect an opportunity to open up if you say, I cannot? But if you say, wait a minute, I can do something like this. Oh, I sure can. And then you get an idea. And you follow the idea. Because the idea, which are thoughts, will follow the mood. If the mood is one of excitement, if the mood is one of, ooh, I can do this. Or, shoot, I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm learning. You're opening yourself up to learn and to become. Look at that. The things that you say will either close the door or open it. If you say not yet, I don't know just yet, you're opening the door to learning it. And if you say, I cannot, well, the door closes. Anyway, I have spoken far too long. How did it get there again? Damn it. Okay, who's all here? Cyber! I see you, Cyber, in these here streets. I know, right, Cyber? Don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. I want you to think about that. That's the principle of correspondence. Don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. As within, so without. Twitter, well, Twitter is as Twitter is. Fanbase. Ooh. Fanbase is on a roll. Dearest Krisha is in the house. Hey, girl. Hey, Krisha. I see you. Moon and Dolphin Duck is here. Afternoon Delight is in the house. Beautiful ones. Big Mike. Oh, straight out of Duval. Who's this? Burnt Skillet. I see you. Oh, Miss Deborah. I see you. Oracle Tree House. My sweet Casey. Flo Smiles. Hey, girl. I see you. Listen, we've been getting so many compliments, Flo Smiles, about your thumbnails. Oh, hello. Whose YouTube is popping? Tee. Our YouTube is popping, y'all. It sure is. Flo Smiles. Thank you. I don't know. Listen, tell you something. I don't know how she does it. Ray Ray, I see you. I don't know how she does it. She just, well, I do know. She's just got this eye, this creative thing she's gotten. She just habitually And that's why she gets these ideas, because she's creative. So because she's creative, she's got a habit of creativity. She knows, and these things just pop up, and she's like, "Ooh, I'm gonna do this." And she always gets those ideas along the line of creativity. Me, on the other hand, I close the door when it comes to that. I say, "Ooh, I don't know how to do those things." It plays out in real life. It plays out in real life. Every day, all day, right? Uh-oh. Really, Delight? Really? Well, isn't that something? Isn't that something? Because I keep telling you the principles are in everyday living. The principles are in everyday living. And that's why it becomes a lifestyle. Ah, Titi. Anywho, I don't know how I got here. I wanted to be done at 5:40 at the latest. But here we are at 6 o'clock. Anywho, I love you all. Thank you for spending, as YouTube says, 56 minutes with me this morning. Ugh, God, Angela. That's my name, Chatty Cathy. But I trust that something resonated with you somewhere, and that you will look at your life and you will apply it without judgment. Okay? And you will see. Ooh, thank you for the love on Fanbase. Ow, thank you. Um, and you will see how your life changes before your very eyes. And I have to reiterate this before we go. Remember the principle of rhythm. It has the ebb and the flow, which means nothing stays constant. You can't be happy all day. You can't be positive all day. Well, you're certainly not going to be negative all day. And you're not going to be sad all day. They ebb and they flow. But the thing is, what you form a habit of has the appearance of constantly being there because you're living by that habit. So when scripture says, weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning, that's telling you the principle of rhythm. You're going to ebb, you're going to flow. But what you habitually do is what gives something the appearance of being indefinite. Okay? Anyhow, I do love you. I do. I don't know who else is here on YouTube this morning, but I know Cyber is. There's a couple other people there. And then after I close the room, I can still see what's going on, so it pops up. And then I'm like, but I can't say hi to you if you come in after I close the room. Anyhow, test it for yourselves. Look at your habits and realize that a habit is not anybody's fault. A habit is just an action that you do the same way every time. So nobody did it to you. Nobody did it to you. We do our own habits. Based upon our mood, we shape our habits. So if your mood is you mad at somebody else, what kind of habit are you forming? Ooh, but you want to say you mad at them? You can't be mad at them, because then you're going to end up forming that habit of anger and resentment. Jesus. Mm. And when you form a habit of resentment, oh Lord. Mm. It's not a pretty thing to form that habit of resentment. Because now that habit of resentment is ruling your life. But here you are thinking you mad at them and you're somehow justifying. No, all you're doing is creating a habit that is disruptive to your own life. This is what having hatred on the inside does to us on the outside. We create a lifestyle of hatred. And when you create a lifestyle of hatred, I wonder what your experiences will be like. Let me think. You cannot hold that habit of hatred and expect love. Love will keep us together. You can't. Because as within, so without. Now you see why we here so long. Listen. I'm so drama. Look at your life, man. And look at that habit that's staring you in the face. The habit says, hey girl, I bet you I know what we doing today. I bet you I know what we're doing today. That's what your habit is saying to you. And what do you say to your habit? Yes, master. Oh, that's what you say to your habit. Yes, master. And you go and you do it. you don't want to be you don't want to be slave to that. You don't want that habit ruling you. Then make a habit that you will submit to. I keep telling you that. I'ma go because a little bit and the girls are still sleeping. So I got a minute or two to get their stuff together. You know, I was gonna make a nut butter last night. I was gonna make cashew butter, and I forgot my nuts in the oven. Oh, and I burnt them. I burnt my nuts. I was quite distressed about that. I was like, damn it. Duh. So I'll try again a little later because I do love me a good cashew almond butter. Yes, I do. That's okay. I still have more nuts in the cupboard. But anywho, why do I tend to burn the food? Because I know it's there, but instead of setting a timer, because I think that is so like not cool, I get distracted doing other things. So how am I going to fix that problem? When I put the next batch of nuts in the oven, I will set myself a timer because I'm going to put them in the oven before I leave the house. And I will set my timer for 8 minutes. And I will turn off the oven and take them out and let them cool. And by the time I get home, I'll be ready to make roasted almonds and cashew butter. So, how do I stop myself from burning things? Set a reminder. Well, what's the problem? I forgot. So, if I want to not forget, then I must remind myself. You guys keep thinking that these principles are far fetched and not part of real life. They are a part of our everyday existence. You say, I can't focus. Oh, you see this ADD, you see this ADHD. I was reading something about it. My coworkers always say, how many timers do you have? I'm like, however many I need. Because I don't like, there's too much going on in the office. There's too much to recall sometimes. So what I do is remind myself of the process. So that when you remind yourself of the process, you're going to make a habit of that process so that the things that you need to remember will just be there automatically because you consistently remind yourself of them. You don't have to force yourself to remember. You just remind yourself, oh, time to do this. Oh, time to do that. It's payroll cut off today. So I got to go in and get all the timesheets and all that, right? So that's what I'm saying. You look at what you think your weak spot is, and if it says you forget, well, then remind yourself. And then over time, like that waterfall, you will set a path of, oh, shoot, I remembered. Huh? Anyway, look, let me go. Let me go, because it's 10 after 6. Okay, love you. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2. Beautiful ones. Beautiful one says, just use the burnt one and label it deep roasted. Girl, they are so past. Listen, they're 3 shades away from charcoal. Oh, snap. Oh my goodness. Whew, that was good. I like that. Deep roasted. I like that. Oh, snap. Oh my word. You guys crack me right up. I love it. I love it. I just love you guys. I do. I sure do. Look, Miss Deborah, I know, right? I will learn to love that burnt flavor. Don't you worry. Mm-mm. I will call it deep roasted from now on. Oh, yes? Yes. I'll be like, stop. You know what? Don't let me call anybody's name. Over their deep roasted stuff, too. But you know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. One, much love to each and every one of you this beautiful day. And I will see you again Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what we're talking about tomorrow because I'm just not there yet. I'm sure something throughout this day will prod me in the right direction and we'll talk about it. Ow. Peace out, everybody. Peace.